Is gaming wasting your child's time? Let's talk about it. The short answer is it depends. The longer answer is, well, yeah, it depends. Do you truly believe that they're wasting their time because they're neglecting their other things that they have to do, whether it's sports, whether it's homework, whether it's chores? It really depends on your child's situation. Do they have goals with their gaming? Is it something that they do to decompress? Do they go a little bit too far? Do they have an attitude when they leave the game? Those are the things that you have to think about and whether or not gaming is a waste of time for your child. But today we're going to go over many different amazing resources that you can use to help you determine whether or not it is for your particular child. And then I'll give you some like links to things that you can use if your child has a gaming addiction. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty awesome conversation, especially because I have a background in gaming. And yeah, let's cue the intro. Let's go. Welcome to the Protect Kids Online live stream. I'm CyberFareedah. I have a background in cybersecurity awareness, threat intelligence, online gaming, and other nerdy stuff. I've taken my gaming experiences and professional background to help parents like you protect their children online. I'm known as an award-winning Forbes 30 Under 30 internet safety expert, and I've been in some places on the internet and beyond that you may recognize. So, without further ado, let's talk. 3, 2, 1. So I saw this video on TikTok like a couple days ago, and this is what inspired me to have this conversation with you. So like let's watch this together. It's about a story around whether something is wasting your time, and I believe it's very important for all of us to watch because it gives us a perspective on what is it wasting time and what is not wasting time. And if you have any questions about your particular child, feel free to put it in the chat. We're going to go through so many different resources. So if you ever have to leave, you're totally okay. The replay is always up. If you're watching the replay, hi replay viewers. All of the information I'm sharing today, I will be sharing inside of the chat so you don't have to miss anything. So yes, let's watch this woman talk about the story that I think we all can learn something from this.
When I was in law school, I was friends with a guy who had an excellent record. He was a great student, and
type 2 in the chat if you can hear what she's saying.
He got a very impressive clerkship with a judge on the Court of Appeals. Now, I worked with this guy on the Law Journal and knew him quite well. So I knew that while he was a great student, he also loved to play video games. And he would often remark to me that he felt guilty about all the time that he was wasting by playing video games when he should have been working. He was married and his wife was a writer. And as it happened, she went into interview for a job at a video game company because video game companies often hire writers to write scripts for them. And during the course of the interview, she mentioned how much her husband loved video games and how he had so many ideas about it. And they said, hey, that sounds interesting. Send him in. We'd love to talk to him. So my friend went in to talk to the people at this video game company, and they were so impressed by what he had to say that they offered him a job. We don't always know what is the waste of time and what is preparation. We don't know it for ourselves, and we don't know it for our children either. Sometimes I try to be very cautious about telling my daughters that something that they're doing is a waste of time. We don't know always what is a waste of time and what is preparation.
I love this video because it gives an introduction to what I want to talk about today. Because while something can be preparing your kids, sometimes it actually is addiction. So like I said in the very, very beginning, I'll be sharing some resources for you if you truly believe that what your child is going through is a gaming addiction. Because the gaming addiction cannot be solved. I'll remove her from the screen for a second. The gaming addiction cannot be solved just by adding more screen time limitations or talking to them about why they're addicted to the game. It can't just be solved by playing the game with them and figuring out, can we lessen your time on the game by 30 minutes, or you can play one less game a day. Maybe the game is like something that is, mom, it can't be paused type of game, right? So you can tell them, hey, you can play one less today, right? That's not going to work if you truly believe that your child is addicted to a game. So if this is you, stick around to the end because I'll give you resources for that. But if you believe that, hey, like my child is just spending a little bit more time on games, then the perspective that she gave is really good. The only caveat I would say was like, wow, did they just give the husband the job and then they like completely ignored the writer's wife, like the wife who's a writer? Like, Whatever, we don't have to go to that subject, but I thought that was funny. But you never know what gaming can prepare you for. So I'll go a little bit personal, and then we're going to go into a website that helps your child quit gaming. And I've seen them pop up all the time. I started subscribing to the YouTube channel like months ago, and they have a resource for your child and you to sit down and figure out if gaming is wasting their time. And so I'm going to share their website in a second, but I'm going to quickly go over my story, because I started gaming online when I was 13 years old. I started in like these free mobile games, and I would play all the time. And I figured out a way to manage my time, but over the years, I started to get a little bit more into it, and I started to neglect the things that I really needed to do because I was playing games all the time. And looking back, I'm realizing that the reason why I did that was because I was running away from my emotions, and I did not know how to handle some of the strong emotions I had. And the only way I could do it is to escape in the game. But that's things that we do all of the time, whether it's watching TV too much, scrolling on social media too much. We have to decide what is the underlying deeper reason why your child is playing these games. And you can get your child into therapy if you want to, but before we get into therapy, we have to get them on your side, because you can't have these conversations with your child, especially your teen, if they're not on the same side as you. So you have to understand, why do they love the game so much? What benefit could it have in their life before you even get to the therapy and making sure that they're playing in a healthy way. So the first thing is to realize what this woman said is that this game could be preparing your child for something that your child may not understand right now, and you may not understand right now. So back then, when I was playing online games at 13 years old, I had no idea that the games that I was playing would directly prepare me for my career in cybersecurity awareness and threat intelligence, directly catapult my career when I was in corporate. So when I was playing these games, I was just playing them. But then when I started working in corporate when I was like 19 years old, I realized that the games that I was playing mirrored exactly the way that the business world, the corporate world, and the cybersecurity world was going. And then I realized that a lot of the things that I learned from the games that I had played actually applied to solving some of the biggest cybersecurity problems that were happening. So I was on the team that was security awareness, and we had to make sure that employees, like internal clients and external clients, were not doing things that could sabotage the business, meaning that the business is going to lose a lot of money because someone clicked on a link or someone gave a hacker access to the company systems. And I realized the way that we can protect the company and keep the company gaining more money are directly correlated to the lessons that I learned in gaming. Okay. So I made this article. I was talking to my mentor over dinner, Dr. Jessica Barker, shout out to her. And I was talking about all of the things that I learned through gaming and all my years of gaming, and how I was applying those lessons, crazy, but I was applying those lessons that I directly learned from gaming in real time in my corporate job with a lot of success and a lot of results. And it was mind blowing to me. And she told me, Frida, you should definitely write an article about this. And I was like, absolutely not. No one's going to care about this. I'm not writing an article about that. That's not happening. But then, she's my mentor. So I listened to her and I said, okay, fine, whatever. If you think I should write an article, I will. And so she introduced me to Info Security Magazine. That's probably one of the first websites I've ever been in my life. At that point, now it's been a lot more, but that's like the first one. And I wrote a series called How League of Legends can help us solve our biggest cybersecurity problems. And I wrote a part 1 into that article. People loved it so much. They asked, hey, can you do a part 2? I did a part 2. I was supposed to do a part 3 of that article. That never happened. I'm so sorry. They don't really care. But like, I did those 2 parts and I really loved it. And other people loved it as well. So much so that someone made sure that B-Sides Knoxville knew my name because of the article. She loved the article so much that she told them about it. And so I did my first keynote speech, which catapulted my career in cybersecurity and creating content online and meeting all of these brands because of that speech that I did. And when I did that speech is basically what gaming taught me about protecting people online, essentially. That led me to create so many connections in my business, not just my business, but also my career. This is before I even started my business. And it was amazing, amazing career launch for me. And it made other people who didn't know who I was know who I was and trust me and pour advice into me. And it just made me like more successful than I ever thought, to be honest. It was just because of me taking my background in gaming and combining it with what I was doing at that moment. So you never know, your child can grow up, they can write a game, they can code a game, they can develop something, they could take their gaming experiences and help someone with something else. So encode that, like tell your kids that, hey, like their gaming might come up in your career, like you possibly could use your gaming experience. Is there anything that you ever learned in gaming that you think will help you later on in life? Like start planting those seeds now. They may be like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm not understanding, but at least you're putting that in their mind that, hey, I'm with you. I don't really get gaming. I can't really relate to you. And this is you. This is fine. If you can't relate, that's great. But most parents I talk to, you tell me you can't relate to your kids. How can I connect with my kids' love of gaming if I can't relate to them? And I think I'll talk about that, and then I'll go to the gaming edition again. So if you have not, and type 1 in the chat, if you feel like you cannot connect with your kids' love of gaming because you have never gamed online, if that's you, type 1 in the chat. You're absolutely not alone. You don't have to have gaming experiences or any type of relevant experience in order to connect with your kids' love of gaming. All you have to be is present and open and accepting. That's all you have to be. You don't have to be an expert in it. You don't have to understand what they're saying. In fact, use that as a way to connect, to be like, hey, when you talk about this particular thing in the game and the quest that you're doing and something you're picking up, and I don't really understand what you're saying, can you explain it to me a little bit more, because I'm a little bit confused and I know that you love this so much and I would like to learn a little bit more. That's a way that you can connect. If that doesn't work for your child, find a way. Whether it's like listening to them talk about the game, you're connecting first. Why am I mentioning this first? Because it's important for you to understand why it's important for them. Because you can't help them develop healthy gaming habits if they have the mindset that it's me against my parent. Mostly 90% of y'all are moms, so me against my mom, and sorry dad or grandparents that I hear. But like me against my mom, they can't have that mindset. They need to have the mindset of, it's my mom and I together against the world. It's my dad and I together against the world. It's my parent and I together against everybody else, and not us clashing with each other. Because when it comes time for you to maybe reduce their game time or try to develop other healthy habits, they're going to be able to listen to you because they understand that you're on their side. So you have to really start with that mindset shift for everybody involved. And the best way to do that is to engage with what they love. If there's like a video game convention coming up, if there's, I don't know, TwitchCon, if there's Comic Con, if there's, I don't know, whatever, some video game and they really want to go, can you figure out a way that you can go with them to understand what they love, what they appreciate? Is there like a game that they really love and there's like an action figure that they would really appreciate, or whatever it is? Like, engage as much as possible in the way that keeps you sane, whole, and collected in their games, so that when it comes time that you have to put safety measures or to help them have a more well-rounded experience online, they're completely with you. So let's go into this resource that I saved. I'm going to give the link to this TikTok in case you want this TikTok. Let me stop sharing that so that you can have this TikTok of the woman who said about that story. Where is that? How do I share this? Okay, copy link. Okay, so let's go. Let's talk about, is gaming a waste of time, from Game Quitters. And I've seen a lot of their stuff, and they have a really good website. Let's see, am I sharing? Okay, yeah, is gaming waste of time. So Game Quitters is a really good resource I have found. I don't know too much about them. I've researched enough to feel comfortable sharing their website with you. If you have kids that are gaming online and you feel like they may be wasting time, or you want them to quit gaming, then I would suggest looking into Game Quitters and seeing if it's right for you. Again, I'm not necessarily, what is it, patronizing? Is that not patronizing? What is it called? Recommending, but I do recommend looking into it. I don't know anything about the company itself. I have no experience with them. I have no affiliation with them. I don't really know them, but I've seen enough to feel like, hey, they have a really good resource. And they have this article that basically breaks down whether or not gaming is a waste of time. And I believe it's great to go over it with you, with your teens or with your kids. He talks about his story. He talks about basically having your kid ask themselves, why are they gaming? Is gaming something that they do on their free time to decompress from school, from decompress from their internship or their first job, or just like, annoying family members, friends, whatever it is? Is it a time for them to connect with friends, like after school or whatever it is they want to go and connect with people that they know online or offline? And this is a way for them to build community. Is it something that's just really fun for them to do because their friends are doing, but they don't really care? They only do it when their friends are around. Those are things that you can talk about. And you can tell your kid, like, hey, I want you to be able to play games with the most joy as possible, like most joy as possible. But I'm noticing that sometimes when you're playing these games, you're getting really upset. And that worries me because I want to make sure that you're playing in an environment where you feel joy and you feel happiness more than you feel sadness. So like, let me know, like, is something going on? I promise you, I won't be mad at you. I won't yell at you. I won't take away your devices because something happened. Like, getting them to open up to you and having these conversations are important. They should never feel like, oh my God, if I tell my parent my struggles or the fact that I want to play a little bit more because I'm sad, that they're going to say, well, this is why you shouldn't play games. Like, you have to get to the point where, as hard as it is, as difficult as it is, you are providing a space where no matter what they tell you, you can remain as much as humanly possible, what I call the 3 C's: cool, calm, and collected. And if you ever slip up, because you're a human being, you can always go back and say, hey, I'm so sorry, I slipped up. I was really worried. I was really upset. I was really terrified. You can explain why, and you can say, I'm sorry. I'm not going to react that way, blah, blah, blah. And I know apologizing can be difficult, but I promise you, apologizing is perfect and it's amazing and it's necessary, especially if you want to raise kids that know how to apologize to themselves and other people and move forward without having that shame that's lingering forever. So asking them why they like to play video games, playing them with them. So is it game mastery? So game mastery, I didn't even think about that one just now, but yeah, game mastery would be another reason why your kid loves to play the game. So maybe they're playing the game and they realize that, hey, I'm actually good at this game. Your child can become a pro gamer. They can make millions or thousands of dollars playing a game. It's not going to happen for everyone. Your child has to be like, I don't know, LeBron James or Kobe Bryant of the gaming world. They have to basically have that work ethic, that mental stability, and to tell them like, hey, basically understanding why your child wants to play games will inform you in the next step that you should take. So let's just go over this list that he gave. So to be fun and entertained. If he wants to be fun or she wants to be fun and entertained in these games, then if you see them frustrated, be like, okay, well, you being tilted is, what they call when you're being really frustrated after a game or in general. Did anyone else use tilted in like regular day language? I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyways, but typically like gamers, that's what you use. You say you're tilted. So if they're playing the game to be fun and entertained, if the game is no longer fun and entertaining, then that's a problem. And you're still playing it because you're addicted to it, then that's a problem. But you don't have to phrase it with your kids that way. You can say, I want you to consistently be fun and entertained. And if something's no longer fun and entertaining, but you're still playing it, then like think about why you're doing that. Like, are you self-sabotaging yourself? Are you harming yourself in a way that feels like it's uncontrollable? Like those type of things. Like having those conversations is good. But I'll give you some resources because this therapy speak can be difficult and it's best to have someone who's licensed in this. And so sometimes going down that rabbit hole can be very difficult. But of course, as a parent, you're always at the first line of therapy anyways. So these conversations will help. Game mastery is important. So if they're really into the game, for game mastery, you can tell them, hey, in order to be a master at a game, let's say you want to start streaming this game or you want to start like becoming a pro gamer and you want to be assigned to a team or whatever it is, you need mental toughness. You're going to need to exercise. You're going to need to do all of those things you think are not connected to gaming. And you can possibly look at like, what do the best pro gamers do for their health or whatever. And you can use somebody, not everyone's healthy gaming, but you can use a healthy gaming pro gamer person as an example to your child of like, hey, you want to be like one of the first female gamers in this particular game, then here's what someone else did in order to maintain their mental health, because it can be really toxic or it can be really addicting or it can suck you in. So knowing their motivations for playing helps you give them the why behind why they should be healthy gaming. And because if you tell them, to protect your mental health and they don't care about their mental health, that you want them to understand why it works for them. Maybe they're releasing tension from stress, maybe to socialize online, maybe it's competition, maybe it's progress, like they said. So knowing why is really good. And then they talks about like gaming comes with some trade-offs. Feel free to like look through this with your kid. And then there's this part that I want you to pay attention to, which is your gaming a waste of time? Okay. And so you can decide whether your gaming is a waste of time. I think he has like, yeah, okay, good. He has this quiz that you can take, your child can take to see, is gaming taking over their life? And remember, tell your kids, like, I'm not doing this for you to get off gaming. I'm doing this because I want you to have a healthy gaming experience and I want you to be happy and basically healthy online. Okay. So essentially, you're supporting them in their journey. They really want to game, but you want to make sure that you're being there with them. There's another article called From the Conversation, which I really liked. I'm not going to share the full thing, but there is some advice for parents section that I thought was really good. And let's go into that a little quickly, not a little quickly, but let's go into that. So they have a section called Advice for Parents. And the first thing they said was similar to what I said, which is embrace them, that online gaming is not a fad. Of course, the popularity rise, it doesn't really matter if it's popular or not. It matters, does that work for your child? So like I said before in the beginning, you ask your child, why is it important? Try to understand why they spend their time rather than another hobby. And, you know, these are the reasons why your child might say that. You can get involved. Like I said, you can play the game with them. You can watch YouTube videos. You can watch Twitch streams. You can ask your child if you can watch them play, if you can play with them. This is like, it's really, 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 really helpful. And of course, there's a lot of science to back up that gaming helps with problem solving, literacy, and science, depending on the games that they're playing. It's not every single game like that. You have to decide. But playing with them helps them a lot. And so feel free to do that. So let's go into the therapy option. So if you feel like your child is to the point where gaming is becoming an addiction and there is an underlying deeper reason why your child is playing this game, then I suggest that you look into different modalities of therapy. There are many different types of therapy. You find one that works best for you. I personally love two different I'm saying modalities. I'm just saying, okay, if it's not right, just say in the comments. But different variations of therapy. The first one I love is rapid transformational therapy. And the second is somatic experiencing. And so I'll give you like resources for both of them. I'll talk about it really quickly. I'm an expert in neither. You should go talk to someone who's a mental health professional on what option works best for you and your family. You can talk to someone who does somatic experience or RTT, SE or RTT, like feel free to pick one that works best for your family or both. Sometimes it's even better. But you can do these online, you can do these in person. And essentially what you're doing is you're getting to the deeper root of the problem of your child really being addicted to games. They cannot get off of it. They have a tantrum when they get off of it. All of those things that you want to solve, those things can help both you and your child. So you can go to the therapy and your child can go to the therapy. I suggest both of you go if at all possible. Sometimes it's not possible for whatever reason, but so long as you're aware that it exists, it's a first step, and then saving it and figuring out, like talking to a therapist to see like, does this option work for me? Does this option work for me? This is pretty good. So anyways, let me share this tab. So this goes into, oops, it's not shared. Okay. This goes into what rapid transformational therapy is. Essentially, it goes into, is helping rewire your child's subconscious brain when it comes to the things that they're doing. So whether it's their addictions, their compulsive thoughts, it's maybe they're struggling with depression or they're struggling with other things, because I can't really say that on YouTube, I forgot. But if they're struggling with something that's dark, that's deep, or something that you feel like, oh, they're talking to strangers online and they can't stop talking to them, or they're telling them their personal details, or they're trying to meet some guy that they met online and I'm trying to tell them how unsafe it is, but they don't really care. They're giving out their address. They're taking pictures of themselves. They're doing whatever it is. There's always some deeper problem, and something like RTT can really help you understand what may be going on with your kid. So I'm putting the RTT, what is that, in the comments below. And if you want, you can find an RTT professional that can work with you and your child and whatever you're struggling with, including addiction. So if you go to the website here, you can search a professional's name if you have one. Most likely you're not. So you can say, hey, I would like coaching. I would like a session that's maybe, let's just start with online, because you're like, I don't know. And you can say the issue is working. So let's just say you want someone to work with your child. You can put working with children. If you want someone to work with your teens, you can say working with teenagers. Or you can, and then you can specify like what issue did they have, and you can talk to the therapist. And preferred country, let's just say that you are in the United States. I was going to say Australia, but I'm not going to put Australia for right now. And let's just say that you are in Texas. Okay. You can put the preferred language, and then you can find people who are RTT therapists that can help your child with anything. So let's just say you're working with children, they have confidence problems or addiction, non-substance addiction. So that is where gaming is addiction, but it's not really a substance addiction. So you can have someone to work with your child in that way. So that is the way how you can work with RTT. If you're like, what the hell is RTT and how does that have anything to do with my child and helping them get over a game addiction or any other types of things they're struggling with, there's a blog that breaks down teens and hypnotherapy and RTT and different modalities of therapy to help your kids basically develop a healthy and sane life. So you can read that and see if that's something that you're comfortable with. I highly suggest that you look into that. The next is if you believe that your child has experienced something, and this is for any child, like anybody, like anyone can go through this, but especially if you believe that they went through some type of trauma, whether big or large, that mostly large, medium to large, everyone, you can't really say what anyone else's trauma is, but it can help you to decide, okay, you know what, if they're struggling with a lot of issues that I believe is coming from an incident of like severe bullying or an incident of abuse of from a family member or a friend, or you feel like something's wrong, but you're not really sure, and you want to help them get therapy in a way that's beyond just the mind, but it's the mind, it's the body, it's the emotions, then you can look into somatic experiencing. And that is the Psychology Today article basically goes over what that is. And then there is a listing. If you want to find someone who's a practitioner in this, you can. And this is like the same type of thing where you go and you find somebody online to see like, hey, does that work for my child by location? You can search for people that work in this area for your child. And if you're confused and you're like, how does that have anything to do with my teen? What is that? What is somatic experiencing for my teen and what they go through? Then you could go to this website. I know it's a lot of information, but it's important. You can go to this website and see a little bit more about what it is for teens and how it impacts them and their mental health. Okay, so that's a lot of resources. Take a deep breath. But I believe is extremely important if you want to get down to the bottom of it, because it could not be wasting time. But if it is wasting time in a major way and you believe that it'll impact their life, then you really want to make sure that you're getting them the help. If your kids are young, I really like the ending of this article. I always talk about this, but I really like having an article about this. It was not really about this, but if you scroll all the way down, if you have younger kids, best to keep them offline. And if they want to play games, they can play it on a Nintendo Switch. And so they also, let's see, where's the Nintendo Switch thing? They talked about Nintendo Switch, and they talked about different games that you can play in the Nintendo Switch. Of course, there's a lot of things that are outside. They're outside of the online space, so it's really good. Another thing is Common Sense Media. They mentioned that. That's another reason why I want to bring up the site, because they mentioned Common Sense Media, which is another great resource. Let me see if I can still have that. Okay, you can't really see that. But anyways, let's see. Common Sense Media games. Let's share this thing. They have a lot of resources on the best games for your kids. So if you're looking for alternative games for your kids and you're just not really sure what type of game is better for your kid, you want them to get off of one game and you want them to go on the next, what you can do here is pick 2 different games from a Common Sense Media list based off of your child's age and say, hey, look, explain why you're taking away the game, but I'm not taking away your game. I'm giving you 2 different options. Which one would you like? And those 2 options you're totally okay with because you went to Common Sense Media and you said, hey, you know what? My child is 12 years old, or I just put 11. They have a Nintendo Switch. I want to limit the content to Oops, it's taking a bit. Okay, so I don't want any violence. I don't want any language, no romance, and no substance stuff. Okay, so who is it for? You can have a nickname. My child's name is Nick, nickname Nick, right? Okay, and you can save your preferences or whatever. And it will tell you, okay, so based off of what you selected, here are the best games for your kids. And you can go over here and you can say, you know what? Oddballer seems fine. I really don't like Children of Silent Town. Jelly Cars sounds great. Actually, Sky is better. Okay, so let's do Sky and Oddballers. And you can go to your 11-year-old and say, okay, I really found some really awesome games to replace the other game that we felt like was not best for you because of X, Y, and Z. So do you want to play Oddballers or do you want to play Sky? And I'll give you the link to this so that you know. Did I put that in the chat? No, I didn't. Okay, let me put that in the chat. And then you can decide what is best for your kids there. Okay. Amazing. And then if you're like, I really don't understand games, I need support in helping understand games, there's this show on Apple TV called Help, My Kid is a Gamer. Have I watched it? Absolutely not. Let me know how you think of it. I looked online. The reviews seem to be pretty good. I did not see it in IMDb, though. Maybe I didn't look hard enough. I don't really know. But I saw some general reviews online, and some parents and kids thought that this was a really good show. So I believe, from just looking at it over here and looking at who created it, that it can be a really good resource for you to understand how to protect your kids and connect with your kids. Right here, it says they speak to behavioral psychology and technology experts to encourage a mature conversation about kids and video games. And so I believe this can be really, really good if you want to have a bigger conversation with your kids around gaming. As you can see, the episodes are quite short. They're no more than, it doesn't seem, at least for season 2, it doesn't seem like the episodes are more than more than 16 minutes long. So that is how you can protect your kids and whether or not your child is wasting time. Again, go check out the Commons and Media resource for like alternative games for your kids. There's another site called Taming Gaming. I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. And let's see, share this tab instead. And basically, it helps you find better games for your kids. Essential cookies only. So it says, we're here to help parents and guardians. Oops, I can't see it. We're here to help parents and guardians navigate the world of gaming. We have 2,527 video games and 191 board games in our database. Each one is handpicked, deeply researched, and tested with real families. So if you're trying to tame your child's way of gaming, then this site I highly suggest that you look at. You can decide, like, is PC console better? Is a PC or console better? What type of console is better? What game is better? Which one is right? I believe they have certain things about, of course, they have like some good gaming videos that are age appropriate for your kids. It doesn't have some crazy stuff popping in, trending games. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. There's a room from woman perspectives. It's a lot of amazing things to get your child to read, to get your child to be outside, to get your child to write letters, learning English as a second language, real life gaming stories. And so if you have a child that's really into gaming, or you want to figure out how to connect with them, or better have healthy gaming habits with you and your children, then I suggest that you look at that website. So that's the last website that I was going to share with you today. If this is your first time catching me live, make sure that you tell your friends and family to join us every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Since I start late, like this week I started late. But my entire YouTube channel is helping you protect your kids online. I have videos on protecting your kids on Discord. If you have kids that are gaming, most likely they're on Discord. Discord has become popular even outside of the gaming community. Like, it's a whole thing. I started Discord when it's launched in like 2015. And it's like expanded. And so I did a whole video based off of my own experiences, but also an internet safety expert's perspective, me, and then different ways to protect your kids. Discord just released a family center to better protect your kids on Discord. Long time coming. So go check out the Discord video. I have videos on protecting your kids on Roblox and Minecraft, gaming in general, protecting your gamer child online, a lot of different things. So make sure you're subscribed for that if you want more information. I'll be putting a lot more videos out in the near future. Right now, I'm really focused on the Protect Kids Online membership. which that's where I help you protect your child online. You get like a complimentary one-on-one session with me. We chat about what you're going through, what you need more support with. And I'm going to send this email like in 20 minutes or something, because I want to start like a support group. I'm tentatively calling it like Safe Mom Support Group for protecting your child online, where we come together and figure out ways that we can protect your child online, share experiences, share incidents, share challenges, tips, helpful resources, success stories, bringing in experts who are experts in Roblox or Minecraft or people who know these games to help you understand what it means to protect your child, like bringing in psychologists and psychiatrists and therapists and counselors and people who are educating in this space to do roundtables with you. And we get on Zoom like every single month and we come together and we discuss protecting your kids online. Book club discussions on screen time, digital wellness. What else did I say? Oh yeah, doing like challenges, like quarterly challenges where screen-free weekends or game safe sprints or social media safety tips or whatever it is, to come together to help you protect your kids online. So all of that will be, oh, where's the website? I forgot. Oh, protectyourchildonline.com. Exactly. All of that will be in protectyourchildonline.com. So if you're interested in something like that, where you need support, you need help, you want community, that is what I'm building right now. So come join us, $27 a month. You can join, leave at any time. You can cancel at any time. No hard feelings. I don't think you'll want to cancel, but if you have to cancel, that's fine. You can go cancel, you can come back, you cannot come back. But it is $27 a month, and we are going to be launching that Safe Mom Support Group. I mean, I don't know, maybe the name will change. I don't know if the name is going to change. Like, we're about to see. I'm getting feedback from the parents in my audience now about the group and what's going to be offered in it and the name and all of that. So things might change, but the mission of it, the vision of it, the fact that it's rolling out is not going to change. That's something I'm very, very excited about, because it's very difficult to do this alone. And there's only so much that you can get from me going live and giving you tips and guidebooks and whatever. Like, it's necessary for you to have a support system, a community where you can talk, where you can chat. So that is protectyourchildonline.com. And where we'll be launching those mom support groups where we talk about all things gaming and social media and screen time and digital wellness and digital literacy, like that whole thing. So I'm so excited about that. Go over there for more information. And I will see you next time. Bye.